Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you for joining in. I'm very excited about this episode because it's the episode before Christmas. So I'm excited about that. But also I'm equally excited because I'm joined by my amazing co-host all the way from the USA, Kristina Bloom. Kristina Bloom.
Hey, everybody.
How are you? It's been too long.
I'm great. Yeah, it has been too long. It has been way too long. We need to converse more, I think.
Definitely. So what have you been up to? Anything interesting since we last spoke?
Another visit to the haunted train. I had my producer here with me for a week, and I surprised her with a visit there. So, she had spent a week with another friend, and then we all had dinner together. And then she came home with me, but we were on our way to somewhere, but I called my husband from the car and told him that, we're stopping by to pick up something at the store. And then also on, the following Sunday, I was going to take Gwen up to Sacred Waters, a gathering place, to see the haunted train. And I hadn't told her about it.
Well, that's a surprise in itself.
So we're yeah, right. So we're in the car, and I said that, and she went, "Oh!" And my husband started laughing. He's like, "I take it you hadn't told Gwen you were taking her to the haunted train." And I'm like, "No, I hadn't." So she just found out about it, and she was very excited. We did a day trip. It was a lot of fun. So
fantastic.
She got to experience.
You were saying off air that you've actually done an episode together that's going to be released at some point of that very adventure.
Of that very adventure for her show, Paranormal Walkabout is the name of her show that she is going to be releasing, I believe, next year. So, it was a lot of fun. She got to feel the train actually moving, the train with no wheels, it's on a cement pad. It was good.
Exciting. And with you mentioning that the release of a new podcast, I think it's prompted me to say we need to have Gwen on this very episode with us both, talking about that, and share it with the audience.
Think so.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely.
I would love to have her on your show.
Yes. Yeah. Well, she'd be
you've been on my show, and she's my producer, so yeah.
Yes, more than welcome.
Yeah,
so
fun.
We're going to dive deep today, with it being the one before Christmas.
Yes.
Together, we've scratched our heads, put our heads together, put our thinking caps on, and we've come up with the title of today's episode, The Season of Goodwill.
I love it.
That's what we're talking about. We're diving deep.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about the fat man with the beard too much either in this conversation, are we?
No, not too much. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
A little bit. Have you been a good girl all year? I know I've been a good lad.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
I've had adventures this year. I had an adventure with you this year. That made my whole year. So I'm very excited about that.
Likewise. Do you know what? I was reminiscing about that the other day, and I was thinking, how the heck did we do everything that we did in that time? Came away with our sanity, for one. Came
as
away
much
laughing.
As we had to begin with, anyway. Right?
Yeah. Came away laughing, and we captured the experience on the episodes that we created together, and
we stayed friends.
Yes, we stayed friends, despite sharing the van with me and me being a little bit windy in there in between shoots. I put the window down for you. What's the matter with you?
It was the pride about the windiness that actually caught my attention.
For you.
Thank you so much. I
You're
feel so
welcome.
honored.
Okay, we move going slightly off topic. So let's move back over. Again, we're talking about the season of goodwill.
Yes,
Now, there's a question that I think we can both dive deep in with this one. Why do we have to wait till December to be kind? That's always baffled me.
we
Any
don't.
thoughts on that?
We don't have to. I think a lot of it, like you said, we weren't going to talk about the fat men in the red suit, but I, at least where I grew up, it was kind of like held over people, like you have to be extra nice because Santa Claus is watching, you know? And I feel like that just kind of translated into adulthood to some degree, but I don't know how it is where you live. And I actually have not been Christmas shopping because I'm the all of the gifts that I'm giving this year, I'm making. So
Oh,
I have
wow.
not been out shopping. Yeah, I got a little extra time on my hands since I'm not traveling. So, or at least not traveling much. But it has been interesting to watch that there are fewer people actually going into that crazy shopping mode this year that I've noticed. There are still a few diehards, who are going to be
Mhm.
going out there and who are going to be, rushing through and trying to grab things before other people get them or whatever. But I'm not seeing it as rampant this year. And maybe it's because of the economy taking a downturn. Maybe it's because people are just tired of doing that. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it feels different this year. It feels more like how can we pare down? How can we give gifts that actually mean something as
Mm.
opposed to just consumerism just for the sake of consumerism?
Plus, you've got the online ordering as well, so maybe that's
Yeah,
why you haven't
that
seen that
that
that,
could be too.
that
Yeah,
footfall, the
yeah,
local economy.
that's true.
But
And we
yeah,
both sell products online, so that works to I hopefully our advantage as well. We
well,
both have books.
yes. Oh, I like it.
You
They
have
go on,
music.
go on.
I
Tell them
have
where they can. They
I have
can.
t-shirts.
If anybody's
Well,
wanting a last minute Christmas gift, go on, Christine.
yes, you can order Glenn's books at
Oh,
www.glennboddice.spiritualmedium.com, right? So you've got your music, you've got your books, you have things for sale that people can give as gifts that are absolutely wonderful gifts. And my website, KristinaBloom.com, you can order books. You can go to my Printify website, Pure Intuitive Magic, and order everything from cell phone covers to sweatshirts and blankets and all kinds of stuff. So, we both have things that are for sale. My books are like, again, on my website, and at major online retailers too. So you can get them there as well. And I just think it is so important that when we're gift giving, I feel like if it comes from the heart, it means more. It's not just, I don't know how else to say that. It's not just giving things for the sake of giving a gift, but for
mm,
giving gifts that actually mean something,
mm, like that.
and I don't think it has to be just in December, but I feel like that's where the real push is. And maybe because it comes in winter and people have more needs in winter as far as, food and heat and shelter. And, I think that combination of things maybe is why there's such a highlight for December.
Interesting. Well, first of all, thank you for doing the
You're
massive
welcome.
plug. And bless your heart, you put mine in there. I wasn't encouraging you to do that, but thank you.
Oh, you're welcome,
Appreciate
of
that.
course.
But you're quite right. Yeah, it's not about the gift buying and how much you spend. It's about the thought, the compassion, and the connection between what you desire to offer, an offering to give to your
Hmm.
family, friends, or loved ones, and matching it. Matching their vibration with it. I think that means more that you know them and that you've aligned with them than the actual cost of the gift. And like you
Yes.
said, I am observing here in the UK, there is people are watching their finances. They're having to,
Mhm.
more so now than
Right.
ever, and so they're doing their best at the moment
Mhm.
financially. But in actual fact, with this being the case, it's kind of made people more aware of this part of the year that it's about family time, isn't it? It's about connecting with people and sharing an experience. So
Right.
yeah, I agree, and
Right.
quite right. It doesn't have to be in December, but like you say, there is a focus on this time of year. It's cold, it's dark.
Hmm.
Sometimes we need a little bit of a pick me up. We need a boost. There's people out there that are struggling that need that help, and it's nice that there are charity organizations out there that do help
Hmm.
individuals at this particular time of year. Um, yeah, so yeah, I think you raised some really good points with that.
Yeah. Speaking of the food, that's what I'm actually giving as food this year. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, I've just asked the people, well, some of them I already knew because they're really close family or whatever, but I'm giving baked goods that I'm baking for Christmas
Wow.
for people. So, yeah. So I've been asking just some of the closer people in my life, starting with my inner circle and working out, what is your favorite baked good? How can I gift you in that way? And I feel like um I I just feel like when we put part of ourselves into something with love, it just means more.
Mm.
And I had told you offline, my producer for Paramistic podcast, Gwen, had visited all last week. She stayed with us all last week, and we had so much fun. My grandson, who's 5, helped me make cookies for her to take on the airplane home.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
just the sweetest thing. He was just so excited. He grabbed her by the hand and he dragged her into my office and said, "Stay here," and shut the door so that she could be surprised by the cookies that he was making. It was so cute. It was so sweet.
Oh, bless. That's amazing. And of course, yeah,
Yeah.
when you make something with good intentions, you're putting your
Yeah.
energy into it, aren't you? Those
Absolutely.
high vibrational vibes. So
Hmm.
it's going to make the food taste better anyway.
It will. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, well, excellent. Well done. That's a great idea. So I want to follow this line of inquiry of
Yeah.
kindness. We've mentioned that it doesn't have to be December for you to be kind. You
Right.
can be kind throughout every other month of the year, but there's
Yes.
a more of a focused intention on this end of the year. But I believe it's my personal opinion that kindness starts with being loving and accepting of yourself. All stems from
Absolutely.
yourself, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And that actually brought up just another thought is that with the rampant consumerism that we've all gotten used to at this time of year,
Mm,
I wonder how much of that gift giving has to do with seeking love from others as opposed to just sending love. You know what I'm saying? Like if we give a good enough gift, then that will be appreciated and people will appreciate and love us more. And I feel like that is shifting. I feel like people are not giving for that reason as much. They're
mm.
giving more from love as opposed to seeking love, if that makes
Yes,
sense.
it does make sense. Yeah, wanting that approval, wanting that give to receive type mentality. People are
Yes.
doing it because that's who they are, and they
Yes.
they want to share that with people that they align with and appreciate. Yeah,
I agree.
I
I
get
agree.
that. But yeah, if I've done this for years, I haven't bought one yet, but I've always sent myself a to Glenn love from Glenn present, and it's
Oh,
just
I
been a
love
small
that.
small token. Usually I like DVDs and comedy
Mhm.
things like that. It's usually been a box set of some kind. Haven't done it yet this year because the purse strings have been tight, but I don't want to break that tradition of being kind to myself as well. And it's not coming from the ego when I say that, because
Mhm.
let's face it, if you can't be kind and loving with yourself, then how can you share that and project that energy outwardly, you know,
Right.
without it being tainted with some ulterior motive, as we previously said.
Right.
So yeah, so I've got that task to do um, at some point in the next several days.
I
Um,
love that.
but yeah,
But
so
is it a task? Is it
no,
really a task?
it's fun. It's fun. And
Good.
one of my friends, he put me onto it, and bless him, he's in spirit now. And he says, "Oh," when I told him that I've been doing it, he says, "Oh, I've been doing that for years." He says, "I used to wrap it up." He was a big fisherman, and he says, I used to buy myself some fishing tackle and rods, and he used to wrap it up and put it under a tree and put his name from his name, love from his name, and he used to open it on
I
Christmas
love
Day."
that. I love that. That's amazing. I think I do that, but I never really considered it like that way.
Okay.
Because I have way more stuff than any one person will ever need. I don't need more stuff, but I will treat myself maybe to a new haircut or a special kind of a treat because I have some dietary restrictions now with the
Okay.
medication that I'm on. So I will find a treat that I like that I can have without causing myself issues. Something like that, like a consumable or something like that, just because I don't need more stuff sitting around. I mean, my background is blurred for a reason. There's just way too much stuff. There's just way too much stuff.
I just
I
thought it
don't
was
need more
my
stuff.
eyes all this time we've been recording.
Why is it fuzzy?
Yeah. Why is it fuzzy, man?
There you go. Man,
Scooby
around here, all I
snack.
have to do is inhale, and I don't even have to do it myself. Just walk down the street and inhale. But
I've heard that about the other side of the pond
the
being
other
that
side of
way.
the pond, yes.
Yes.
But anyway, I do love that idea of giving a gift to yourself because I just think that's really important. A token of loving yourself, just like you would give a token to someone else
Hmm.
that you love, you know?
It also is a bit of a marker, I feel. Yes, I made it through the year.
Hmm.
Had some highs and lows.
Yeah.
Kept on going, and we got there. We made it to December, and it's a little congratulations gift as well. You did it.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
but
I
yeah,
completely agree. Yeah.
what I do like is I like this terminology that I'm about to share with you. People talk about consumerism and spending and all of this. When I like it, where your presence is your present,
Yes,
showing
absolutely.
up, your true authenticity, being there, getting stuck in, interacting with family and friends. How are you? What have you been up to this year? Nice to see you, and just
Yes.
bringing that new energy to the atmosphere, and lifting people's spirits up. What about yourself? Are you in alignment with that?
I am. And I have to say it's because I had this weird health thing pop up this
Mm-hmm.
year, um, in the last quarter of the year, which is interesting. But I am being very careful with where my energy goes. Very careful with where my energy goes. I would rather have a few small get-togethers right now than to have a big one that's going to take a lot of my energy.
Yeah.
I'm being very careful about conserving that. That's a gift to me. That is
Mm.
a gift to me. I am not giving into the whole, gather the whole family and um, pockets. I'm doing pockets because it's easier for me this year. But it's also choosing my family, right? So some of my family is blood family, And some of my family is chosen family, friends who are close enough to be family, friends who
Yeah.
become
Yeah.
family. So I think it's important for me to make that distinction because my core family is very small, very small. 5 people, I think. So that's a pretty small core family as far as families go. Kind of like yours. Yours isn't a huge family either as far as core family goes. So I think it's important for me to, even with that small of a family, I'm breaking it up into two different celebrations because I don't want to have to manage all of those different energies because they're very different energies from each other,
Yeah.
right? So a gift to me is conserving how I spend my energy and not putting myself in a position where I am having to manage energies from very different people all at the same time. And I feel like I can be more present if I do it that way than if I'm trying to be everything to everyone all at once.
Well, not only that, although it's the holidays and you will be resting,
Hmm.
you're sensitive, you're a medium. You're going to be picking up on people's moods, their thoughts, their ideas,
Yes.
their intentions. And I know when people smile like that on the photos, we see beyond the smile. We feel
Oh,
the
yeah.
truth behind that. And although it looks good on camera and picture, and, we feel what's really happening. And so you'll be
Yes.
picking that up amongst all of that.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah,
Exactly.
I agree with you. Keeping it safe and small is, I would say, yeah, for somebody that's sensitive like your good self, I would say that is the best way forward,
Right.
celebrating. But having said that, as we both know, a lot of our ancestors have made their transition into the light,
Yes.
and they don't leave us. They're around us. Although our circle is small,
Yeah.
energetically, the room, the house is absolutely chock a block. So to add that to
Yes.
the mix as well is something to consider, isn't it?
It is. It is. I know my loved ones who have passed on. A lot of them, this is clairalience in my case, but like I smell my grandmother's perfume. I smell um my son who passed was really he enjoyed a lot of recreational marijuana, so I
Okay.
smelled that when he's around.
Wow.
Um although it could be my neighbors too, but
I'm gonna
you
say
know,
you can't blame outside now, can you?
no,
Like you did a
no.
minute ago.
Yeah. Um but yeah, it's interesting because they show up with their particular sense that I associate with them. And so yeah, that's when I can feel that they're around. But it's always a joyful thing, you know.
Yeah.
They're showing up out of joy. They're showing up to see a great grandchild. They're showing up to, see a nephew or whatever it is. So it's for me it's a joyful thing when my family in spirit comes to visit.
Yes, definitely. I would agree. And you're quite right. My circle is small, family circle, but it's full of love, and it's nice because you can relax. You're not on parade, you're not on show, you're not having to force anything. You're just there. You can
Right.
kick your shoes off, put your feet up, and just be yourself. And it's nice,
It is.
to do that and be comfortable with people. Something that I think is also very important about this season of Goodwill, and we're all guilty of doing this at some level. I know I do it quite a lot, and my guides
Okay.
tell me off about it. And this is, don't block the gift. Be open to love and kindness. I mean, the times where people said, "Here you are, there you go, have that." I'm like, "I'm fine, thank you. I'm all right. I don't need it. I'm good, thank you." We're blocking the energy. We're blocking that beautiful gesture. That person then feels a little bit kicked back, maybe insulted on some level. So it's moving out your own way, isn't it? not just this
It
time
is.
of year, but throughout the year, because, you know, let's face it, we're all capable of doing this. No, I've got enough. I'm all right. Blah, blah. But the thing is, you're intentionally moving yourself out of the flow of the universe and abundance
Right.
by doing that. I mean, you can always say, yes, thank you very much. Even in your head, you're thinking, I have no use for this. But it will give you the experience of donating and giving it to somebody that does want it. And I think
Right.
that that's a wonderful way of staying in the flow of abundance and also, you know, passing it on as well in a loving way and
Yeah.
showing that acceptance. So, how do you feel about that? I
I
bet you
love
do it yourself. I know you, but you do it. No, I'm good.
I
Thank
was
you.
just saying, you have come a long way in receiving, which is awesome. But it's not like I've given you a lot of choice, so there's that too.
Yeah.
But I have seen you also receive from other people and not turn it down, which is wonderful because before that you were definitely saying, "Oh no, I'm good, thanks." And knowing darn well you weren't good and you could probably use whatever was coming your way, especially monetarily, right? So I've seen you grow in that respect, and that makes me very happy.
Calling
Um,
me out. Okay. Okay.
threw you right under the bus there,
You
buddy.
did. I've got bruises to prove it as well.
The other thing though that I wanted to add is it not only opens channels for us to receive, but it also gifts the person who's giving the gift the opportunity to give.
Yes. Yeah,
And you
definitely.
know, I know how good it feels to give. So I want to give other people that opportunity. If they want to give, I want to give them the opportunity of a gracious receiving. I want to give them the gift of gracious receiving. And, I mean, if somebody gives me something doesn't really resonate with me or whatever, I'm still grateful that they thought of me. I'm still grateful
Mm.
that, they put energy in my direction. And what a beautiful thing. Thank you so much.
I like that, the way that you put that, by terming it, um, if you're not comfortable about receiving, by turning it on its head and saying, well, actually, by me receiving, I'm giving that person the gift of giving, that experience, that feeling. And that makes me now more open to receiving even more.
I love that.
So I like the way that you term that. Yeah, giving them the gift of giving. Wow.
Right.
So
I
yeah,
just think it's so important that we honor that for people
yeah,
because they went out of their way to think of me. Thank you. I very much received that. Thank you. So yeah,
it's a lovely thing, isn't it?
it is.
Um, again, there is a focus on this point of the year, but I want to kind of stress that this can apply any time of the year.
Yes.
And I'm talking about making and retaining treasures, memories. And we've all had it from being not small, where we've spent the Christmases together, where we've had some magical holidays with family and friends. And it's so easy. Time flies by really quickly to forget those experiences. And sometimes you're probably the same. It will take a piece of music, the smell of some freshly baked bread or some, you know, some food, picnic food or something like that, um, to trigger back those memories. And when they come in, it's such an amazing, amazing experience, isn't it? Because all of
It
those
is.
triggers are putting us back in that vibration. It can be emotional as well, obviously, but they're good emotions from my own experiences. They've been, you know, like I say, a lot of my family have moved over to spirit now,
Yeah.
but all it takes is a certain phrase or, like I say, some music, and they're right by my side, you know, in that
Yes.
moment. So, what do you do to make and retain treasured memories?
You know, it's interesting because, we spent a little over a week together traveling around in a van. Um, I still make a bad joke out of that, and some people appreciate it and some don't. But um, yeah, I flew across the ocean, and then some guy in a white panel van picked me up, and we traveled around the country. That'd be that guy. Photographs. How often did you see me taking pictures out the window for something you probably don't even think about, right? But for
Yeah.
me, it was preserving the memory of having been there, of having spent the time with you. Um, a lot of pictures of you, a lot of pictures of us together, a lot of pictures of scenery, so I think for me, scent can be a really strong trigger. People ask me, do you really look at all those photos you take? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah, everywhere I go, I take photos. And I know that we had both discussed this before about how looking back at the photos triggers the memories, but
Mm.
sometimes we forget all the places we go, and especially this past year, I traveled a lot within my own country and then overseas with you. And I don't remember all of it if I don't have that photograph collection, basically,
Mm.
to look back at, you know. And sometimes I go through and I'll say, well, I took a lot of duplicate photos of that. And sometimes my phone does it on its own, which I don't understand. But um, I'll go back and I'll look at those and it triggers those memories. And of course, there's scents. Like I said, my grandmother's perfume, I smell her perfume, or, whatever. It brings it back. And I just love that. I love how we can bring back those memories, but we can also keep creating memories while we're doing it.
Yeah. I like that. And with the gift of technology, we have that opportunity to do that nowadays,
We
don't we?
do.
Where back in the day, in the 80s, when I was a wee lad, you had you had an Instamatic camera and you had to send the film in and wait 2 weeks for it to come back. And there was no guarantee if that picture would be a good picture or, of somebody's eye or the finger over the lens.
Or
No,
somebody blinking or
yeah,
yeah,
nobody
yeah,
knew. But
yeah,
if you were lucky, you managed to capture, some treasured memories in those photos. But I agree with you what you're saying with the photograph, because a picture can speak 1,000 words, can't it? And also
it can.
emotions, for that matter. And as over the last few years, I've been traveling around in my vans all over the UK and visiting various locations and spiritual, paranormal, and then just for pure pleasure, city
Mhm.
visits. And I wouldn't be able to remember, like your good self, a lot of those locations because it kind of blurs and molds into one.
It does.
And so, a thing that I've done for many years now is I create folders on my social media and do I think you've said this, a photo dump
Yes.
and put them all in there. And every now and again, I look back and I think, oh, yes, I remember going there. I remember walking down that street. Yes. And it triggers those emotions. You get a sense and perspective of that area again and a fondness of that time that you spent there. So
Yes.
I'm with you on that
Yes.
one, but I do keep a backup of all those photos, on hard drives and stuff
I do
as
too.
well. Uh,
I do too. Yeah.
but yeah,
Um,
it's amazing
Another
how,
thing that
yeah.
brought to me was,
Okay.
I was watching something, I don't remember, it was some TV show last week when Gwen was here, and there was somebody walking down a street in New York, and I've been there. I've been there. And
Excuse me.
I was so excited because I recognized that exact corner. And it was, I believe it was York anyway. I hope it was York, but
Yeah.
it was when I noticed that you walked past a place and you limped for a few steps.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, yeah. That was
Yeah, yeah, it
York.
was that exact place. And I was like, I was so excited because I'd been there and I could see it.
And what did Gwen say to that?
She looked at me, she said, that is so cool. That is so cool that you have that memory that you can look at that and say, I've been there. That was just wonderful for me. just
Oh,
sitting there watching
amazing.
some random TV show. I don't even know what the show was, but it was really cool that I was able to just say, I know that place.
Wow. Amazing. So it
Yeah,
triggered that experience.
it did. It did. I was very excited. I mean, obviously, I'm very excited now telling you about it. So,
Do you ever recall the smells and the fragrances
I
in those
do.
areas as well when you see an image of something?
I do. I do. Yes. Especially, what was it? There was somebody had put on, it was probably a documentary, of a haunted location that I'd been where it had a very particular smell. And I was like, yeah, now I remember. I've been there. I remember this. It
Oh.
wasn't a good smell, but I remember it. So, yeah.
There's
Yeah.
one place that I went a few months ago with my sister and my youngest daughter. It's a place called Beamish,
Yeah, you
and
sent
it's
pictures.
yeah, that's it. It's a
Yes.
living museum, and it goes back to the Victorian age. And basically, you've got actors there, you've got everything. It's like a movie set, basically, with all the original. They're not props, but all the original artifacts there.
Yeah.
And when I looked through those pictures the other day, in fact, I'm smelling it now. I can smell coal fires burning in the
Okay.
atmosphere. And I've got that now as I'm just recalling the memory. And
Right.
we don't, all around this area, we used to smell it a lot because it was all heated by coal, but now everything's gone over to gas and electric. And so
Hmm.
to have that smell again, it's like, whoa, right there from a photograph or a memory. It's crazy, isn't it?
Right.
How
It
we
is.
store all this information, and all it takes is a trigger to bring that experience back.
Right. Right. A trigger. Like an old song. Sometimes that'll bring back lots of memories. Like a song you haven't heard in a long time will bring back memories just boom that fast.
Oh, definitely. And I've got a little story to say about songs.
Yay.
I won't say the songs due to copyright infringement and all of that. You know
Right.
how crazy it is nowadays. But
Yes.
when I used to work in sign writing and screen printing, we had worked in a big factory, and there was different departments, and in another department you had to walk through other departments to go to the storeroom to get the inks, to get the equipment, and to bring it back to your sector. What I used to do to wind people up as I was walking by my friends and that in their departments, I would sing the first line of a song, like a big classic song, maybe by Frank Sinatra, something like
Okay.
that. I'd say the first two words or the first line, and then I'd stop and I'd go about my business, go and get the
Oh,
stuff,
oh,
come back,
that could be considered cruel.
and they'd sing the next line of the song when I got back, and
Okay.
then they'd swear at me and say, "What have you done that for? I'm going to have that song in my
Uh-huh.
head all day long now." And that,
Right. You implanted earworms.
oh yes, yes, I was good at
Yes.
doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I digress. But okay, we're going to talk about holding space. We've kind of scratched the surface with this, holding
Yes.
space for our loved ones in spirit, particularly this time of year. And again, doesn't necessarily have to be this time of year, but because we're all family orientated, we're all together. I feel that our vibration, our energy
Yes.
naturally attracts them towards us because of that bond that we share and that we continue to have. So is this something that you do in your family? Do you speak about maybe loved ones around this time of year and reminisce
We
and tell
do.
stories?
We do.
Mm?
Yeah. Um, Particularly with Logan,
Yeah.
his sibling likes to bring up stories from earlier Christmases from when they were kids and that sort of thing. And uh, Logan was always one that would give very personal gifts. So,
Wow.
yeah, one year he gave me a crow feather that he had found. And
Wow.
it was such an important thing for him that when he gifted it to me, you just knew that he was gifting his whole heart. You know, that's the kind of person he was. When he gave a gift, it was rarely anything that he bought anywhere. It was something that he made or something that he found that reminded him of the person that he wanted to give it to. And so there's a lot of those kinds of stories that go around. My family, when I was a child, we always had this big Scandinavian Christmas meal. And so last year I did do that. I did as much of the meal as I could remember how to do. Um, this year I'm not doing that because I'm not doing the cooking this year. I'm relaxing this year.
Forgive me for chiming
Yeah.
in, but does that
Yeah.
involve fish
Salmon. Yes.
instead of turkey?
Yes. It was salmon, Swedish meatballs, something called fruit soup, which I did not do because
Forgive
that
me.
never ends
You
well.
said Swedish meatballs, and instantly
Yeah.
I've got the chef from the Muppets going hurdy gurdy 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 gurdy
Exactly.
gurdy, and I
Exactly.
can
We
just see you
always
doing
made
that
fun of it. Yeah.
in the kitchen.
We always made fun of it. Actually, we might do the meatballs again this year, but we've kind of started our own family tradition that's more of a surf and turf. So it involves more seafood and that sort of thing.
Oh,
So, yeah. So we shop for it when it's on sale and then stick it in the freezer and use it for Christmas dinner or whatever. But yeah, it's when I'm making space for ancestors, it's very often food related and their
yeah.
favorite foods.
Oh, like an offering almost as well, a
Yes.
ceremonial offering.
Yes.
So
Yes.
probably the rest of your family don't realize the importance of it, but from your perspective, that's what you're
Yes.
holding those traditions and bringing their vibrations in.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So
I know, as you know,
I was
my
gonna say, how do you hold space for
well,
ancestors?
my dad, as you know, is in spirit, has been for
Hmm.
it's coming up to 12 years now next year.
Wow.
And I can't believe how say it's gone quick, but there's not a moment goes by where we don't think of him.
Right.
Um, but yeah, anyway, over Christmases, there's been several Christmases in that period where I've been at my sister's or my mum's house and been celebrating the festivities with the children and everything. And I'm looking out the window and I see my dad walk by it in his flat cap, in his overalls, going through the window. And I've
I
seen him
love
with my
it.
physical eyes. I saw him at my sister's house, her old house, doing that. And then I think it was in the same year or the year after, I was at my mum's. And where obviously my dad lived as well before he passed. And on their back garden, they've got like a bench seat right at the end of the garden. And I'm looking out of the window in the living room and I'm like, rubbing my eyes. And I can see my dad again. He's sat on that bench and he's wearing his flat cap, his overalls, and he's just there, just relaxing there. So to me, that was incredible, incredible. And
That's
we used to
wonderful.
have some amazing gatherings growing up with the family. And we often speak of them, the cherished memories, and like you say, the
Yes.
foods that we used to have. And we used to have like buffets on Boxing Day, and we'd have this family member come. And there was one food that would trigger me straight there, and I can taste it now as I'm thinking, so pungent, powerful. And it's cucumbers that are sliced with
Yes.
onions that are sliced, and they would be put in some vinegar in a bowl on a table, and you could help yourself and put them on a sandwich if you wanted, or just put them on your plate. And I
Yes.
remember just like I could taste it now, so that's incredible. But yes, I think food plays a major part. Music does as well. I mean, in the UK, we have, um, I suppose it's a tradition really, where people released over the years Christmas songs, from the 70s and 80s. Didn't so much do it in the 90s as such, but they always play all of those songs from back in the day, from the 70s and 80s. And you've only got to hear that song. And for me, it takes me right back to my childhood and connects me to those beautiful people and those parties that we had. But in terms of holding space for them, I think it's just putting them in your consciousness, in your thoughts, in your emotions, like
Yes.
we're doing now. We're having the
Right.
experience live on this recording, aren't we? On this interview,
Yes.
shall we say. So it just shows you how powerful and how close they are to us, that we can, should we choose to do so, tap into their vibration by holding space, thinking of them,
Mhm.
reminiscing. They're there instantly. And we just demonstrated that, haven't we?
Yes, we have. As you were talking, it's not just the music, but my mom's parents were Catholic,
Okay.
and I remember going to midnight candlelight mass and hearing all those songs just reverberating through the cathedral, and how much that was just, first of all, it was a privilege to be able to stay up that late, right, when you're a
Hmm.
kid.
I bet.
But I just remember how beautiful it was, with all the candlelights. And it's not my religion, but it was beautiful to watch them enjoy it and to have them share it with us. And so I do with some of those songs, it takes me right back to there. Um, I remember big family gatherings. Um, I mean, multi-generational cousins across the board at my grandparents' house, and how loud it was, and how, there were people in every room and talking, and our core family has never been big on my mom's side, and we never really were connected to my dad's side. So it was cousins 2 and 3 generations away, and
Wow.
you know, second and third cousins, and all of that, however that works, which I never understood. But um, I remember all of that. And then now I look at the very quiet Christmases that we have, and
Hmm.
I love both of them just as much. So, yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. Yeah, I like that the
Yeah.
experience, the lights, the reverberation, the sound, your
Yeah.
cousins, the connection, and that oneness. Wow.
Yes.
Frequency, sound, healing frequency. That takes you right back to that
Absolutely.
experience again, doesn't it?
It
Holding
does.
space.
It does.
So,
Yes.
Kristina, you've got a few very interesting questions that you have for this episode. I'd
I
like,
did come up with some, yes.
yes, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so all this year, it seems like the big topic in every show that I've done seems to be the fifth dimensional shift that Earth is going through, right?
Okay.
So, people waking up more spiritually, people becoming more aware of what that means for them individually and purposefully, I guess is the word. But how does how do you feel like that has changed from like a 3D to a 5D kind of atmosphere around the holidays?
Interesting. From what I've observed and what I'm feeling in myself, um, I don't feel as though there's a mass focus upon the importance of this time of year like there once was, if that makes sense.
Yes.
A
Hmm.
lot of people are losing that, they call it the spirit of Christmas or the festive season, the magic of Christmas, as they call it. A lot of people aren't feeling that as they once did. Now, it could be an age thing, you know,
Hmm.
it could be that quite easily. You could write it off as that. But I believe it goes a little bit deeper. Um, the people are sort of like feeling into the truth vibrations and are not aligning up with what this period of the year is offering up anymore. And it's not giving them that experience because it's not resonating true with them of who they're at anymore. And like you've said, with the
Right.
fifth dimension, and we're constantly evolving as individuals in every
Hmm.
moment, in every single day. It's interesting that as we approach this festive time, and I don't want to sound like Scrooge or the Grinch by saying this, but those individuals that have maybe gone on this journey and done some inner work there and really just embraced themselves evolving aren't seeing it the way that they did, aren't perceiving it the way that they once did, and that magic is not there anymore. For me personally, I don't mind sharing this. It's quite peculiar. I've only ever done this twice in my life, this being the second one, where I'm not feeling the inclinations to get the Christmas decorations up and get the tree up and play the Christmas songs and do all of that I've done since being a young boy.
Hmm.
Um, don't ask me why. I'm a happy-go-lucky chap. I love being around family. I like having fun. I love gifting and receiving gifts. So that can't be it. So I'm ruling that one out. Yes, I have strong connections with, with spirits and with the creator, source energy, whatever term you want to use. My guides, my family members in spirit. So I know it can't be that because that's ever present. But there's
Right.
something amiss. There's something missing for me this year. And I can only assume, with you bringing this up about the 3D and the 5D, that what has changed is my vibration, the energy.
Okay.
Uh, so, yeah, I would say that's where I'm coming from. What about yourself?
It's interesting because I'm kind of not really sure how to put this so that it makes sense, but I feel like I'm just kind of sitting back and observing, which is kind of that's really been for the last 4 months, 3 or 4 months has been really big for me. Just sitting back and observing. I enjoy the Christmas lights. Um, Having Gwen around who really loves Christmas lights. We
Mm-hmm.
we went for a walk in the snow, which she's from down south, she doesn't get snow. So for her to come up to this environment, she was just a kid in a wonderland. And I think for me, that's one example of how the whole 5D shift for me is to enjoy it through other people's eyes, through other people's experiences, where it's not really about me and what I think or what I feel. It's more about, it's my husband's favorite holiday. I will celebrate it for him every year. He loves it. So I think I mentioned before we started recording that he put the Christmas tree up in early November. And so we've had that warm glow in the living room for over a month now, So, um, and part of it too is that we're putting more meaning into it, for myself and for him. The only ornaments on the tree, and there aren't a lot of them, maybe a dozen of them, maybe 12, 13 ornaments, um, but they all mean something. We're not putting up just glass balls. We're not just putting up, the angels and whatever. We're putting up things that mean something to us. And that's it. So we have a pretty sparse tree ornament wise, and we're very happy with that because it's ornaments that mean something to each individual.
Mm.
When my grandson came over, we told him, these are your ornaments. I don't know if you remember them, but these are your ornaments, and you get to pick where they go on the tree. So it's more personal and
Mm.
less show, I guess. I don't know how else to say that.
Yeah,
It's,
not
yeah,
commercialized, or
yeah,
you,
it's not commercialized.
you're doing it for yourselves, because it makes you
Yes.
feel good and it's a
Right.
special time for you as a
Right.
family.
And he is in the last year, he's lost both of his parents. And so
Bless.
I want to make this as much special for him as I can. And that means
Mm.
that, some of the things from his family that sentimentally don't mean anything to me are very important to him. So
Yeah.
that's where my focus is to make it more important for him. Because for me, it's not my religion. It's not something that really matters to me very much. In fact, for
Hmm.
years I didn't have a tree. I didn't put up anything. I didn't matter. Um, but I do this for him because it matters to him. And I think that for me, that's the shift from 3D to 5D. It's not about giving everyone a gift, which is interesting if we get into um, what do they call it, love languages, because I have people in my life where gift giving is a love language.
Hmm.
but that's not my love language. So it doesn't occur to me to go get gifts for everybody. Even, even if it wasn't a financial concern, it has never occurred to me to buy everybody a gift just because it's not my love language, but it is theirs. So
Yeah,
when I do give, it's something that is completely inspired and from the heart as far as gifts go. I mean, I'm much more about here's my presents. Let's spend some time together.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm at that age myself now where time, vibration, energy, sentiment matters more
Yes.
than anything in the materialistic world, so to speak. But I love the fact that you hold space there uh, for the healing that's going to come into your family this year, in
Yes.
particular by having those personal items there on display on the tree that actually means something. I mean, the energy that's put into those items initially, and then having that vibration of those items in the environment already,
Mhm.
that is lifting your spirits. That healing
Yes,
is is happening, isn't it, there and then.
it
And I love
is.
the fact that you bring in your grandson and you say, look, these are your items, you choose. Again, pulling him into the experience, to make it his special time as well. Again, like we said earlier, creating those special memories. That is
Yes.
beautiful. So it's just me then that's been a Grinch and a Scrooge
No,
from
there's lots of people. There are a lot of people in the same boat you are. It's not even about being a Grinch. It's just about not feeling it.
yeah.
The vibration around the holiday shifted. And again, if my husband wasn't in my life, it would just be another day to me. It wouldn't even be a thing. I mean, I would give my grandson a gift. I'd probably um, share a meal with the people who are most important to me.
Hmm.
And my family decided with the adults long ago that that's the way we're going to handle it. We're not going to go into debt buying other adults gifts they don't even need, or don't want,
Like a
or
nose
is
trimmer
just
or
yeah,
toenail
there you
clippers, things like that. Socks.
needs.
Yay, I've got socks.
Hey, you know what? I love socks. The crazier the better, man. Bring me on the socks. I'm wearing Bigfoot socks right now.
And what, size 25?
Yes, yes.
So
Bring on the socks.
you part
Yeah.
answered like my next question really, but
Yeah.
I'm going to probe you even further.
Okay.
What are you doing to celebrate this year, the festive season in the USA, both personally and collectively? What happens in the USA?
Wow, this year is so different in the US.
Okay.
Um, I think people are going smaller. I feel like people are, and I don't know, there's I belong to the neighborhood app or whatever, right? So every day I'm seeing several posts about, did somebody else get my package? Because it says it was delivered, but this isn't my porch that I got a picture of from the driver, or I received this, it's not mine. Can somebody, does anybody know this person? And I mean, they'll obviously cover up the address, but
Yeah.
put the name out. If you know this person, let them know I have their package. So I've been seeing a lot of that. So I'm sure that there's a lot of mail ordering stuff going on or online stuff going on. But it feels like this year, and I know we've talked about this before in a different context, but I'm out in the public and people don't seem to notice other people. Like everybody is so involved in their own little world. I mean, it's bad enough with grocery trolleys, but boy, when people get behind the wheel of a vehicle, that gets a little scary. People are not even noticing other people. It's like everyone is just, not everyone, but a lot of people are just kind of in their own little world and they don't see beyond that. And I just feel like there's more worry this year. There's more um, financial concern than what
Mm.
we've had in a while. Um, we had a bunch of shenanigans going on with politics and poor people, and I don't like using that word, but lower income people not receiving benefits. Some I don't like this word either, but handicapped people not receiving their benefits because the
Oh my
government was shut
goodness.
down. And, and watching really how society stepped up, and all those little library things that we see all over the place suddenly became mini food pantries, where people
Oh,
were putting in, like canned goods or non-perishables, as they call them. So I think the shift that I have seen this year is a combination of people being worried and in their own little bubbles, and also reaching out to help other people who are in need. It's been this interesting combination of that.
wow.
So, what about the
Fascinating.
UK?
The UK, I would say similar vibe. I agree with you. Particular, I don't go out that much in society. They don't allow me to.
They don't-
But
Keep that guy at home.
yeah, but when I do, I went over the weekend, did some Xmas shopping, and yeah, I was aware of that. There's this hustle and bustle there. People are fighting for baskets and trolleys and like move out the way. I'm on a mission. I've got this to do, and boop, 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 people are budging people
Yeah.
out the way, like you say, in their own lane, so to speak. Um, yeah, there's a lot of that going on, and this was the first weekend I braved it out there into the big wide world. Christmas shopping.
You are
Uh,
indeed a brave individual. Yeah.
yes, I had a sweat on afterwards. I had to sit down and have a chocolate biscuit.
There you go.
But yeah, there's a lot of that about. But there is this feeling of because I was overhearing people when there was, choosing their gifts for people because that's what they were doing. And there was a lot of people that was like, yes, well, they'll like this and they'll like it because of that. And there was rationalizing why they're buying the present. And again, that thoughtfulness was there. And I
Yeah.
observed that and I thought that was nice. There was a few people that were very upset, because their kids were misbehaving and they were shouting at them. And, it's all or nothing. You're either with us or you're not with us. There was a lot of that
Yeah.
because kids want to go off on their own and do their own thing. And so there was a lot of that was happening. But in general, I don't know. I don't know, again, if it's me that's just experiencing this, but that magic doesn't seem to be there like it has done. I remember coming back from the shopping, thinking back to the 1990s, a long, long time ago.
No.
And I was thinking, wow,
Thanks for the earworm. Okay, go
yeah,
ahead.
I know this used to be, you're welcome. This used to be a lot bigger, a lot more excitable. The lights were there, the investment was there from the local authorities. There was magic. There was people on every corner dressed as, Father Christmas or whoever. There were stall holders outside, and there was just this buzz, electric buzz. None of that. And I don't
No,
know
you're
whether that's
right.
the sign of the times or just this area where I'm from, because there has been quite an impact on the area financially and the people that live
Yeah.
here. And people are muddling through, doing the best that they can with what they have. So, like your good selves in the USA, I feel as though it's hit everybody economically pretty bad this year. But
Yes.
what I have noticed is people are, whether it's couples, whether it's families, they are clubbing together and they're coming out as a unit and doing it as a collective rather than on their own. I think there was only me that was on my own doing the bits and bobs, and I wasn't there for too long. So yeah, the people are doing that. But there's that magic, that sparkle's not there in the town centre and surrounding areas like it used to be. I can't put my finger on it. When you feel it, and I don't think it's my age either. Because you observe these things, and yeah, that
You're
seems to
just
be
a
the.
youngin'. You're just a
Well, I'm
youngin'.
coming up to a big birthday soon. Shh, don't tell anybody. They still think
I
I'm
won't tell anybody.
25.
Yes,
And they
yes.
can carry on
Um,
thinking that. You're welcome to
yes,
think
they
that.
can.
Definitely.
Um,
Yes, they call me Peter Pan. I'm 25.
Oh my goodness. Um, Now that you mention it, yeah, I have not seen the department store Santas out ringing bells this year.
Oh, so that's
I've
been a
not
thing.
seen that as much. I think I've only seen one,
Oh, wow.
which is interesting. Usually they're everywhere,
Yes. Yeah. Any
collecting
opportunity.
for like Red Cross or whatever. I've not seen any of that this year. I think I've seen one. That's it. That is interesting.
I
Huh.
don't know about over there, but even the Christmas decorations, the illuminations, the lights, and all of that. Back in the 90s, it was like you couldn't move for them. Now it's probably a bit of tinsel, a couple of light bulbs.
Pretty much.
You know?
In the neighborhood where I live, there are some people, not everyone, but there are some people who go all out. There's somebody who has, I don't know, it's upwards of 30 lit up snowmen in their yard, in their front yards. I live in a weird neighborhood. I live in the kind of neighborhood that you kind
Well,
of see
you'd
on
have to do,
TV.
wouldn't you, if you're living there?
Well, it's weird for me because it's like a Truman Show neighborhood, which is like
Oh,
so
is
not
it? I
me.
love that
Yeah,
film.
it's so not me though, like put me in a cabin in the woods. That's me, right? But um yeah, it's interesting because I do live in a neighborhood where people still, some people put up intense direct what's the word? Decorations, a lot of lights, a lot of flashing and whatever, but this town also has a Christmas decorating thing where, they put it out on their website and you can go around and pick your favorite ones so that they have like a winner. I don't know what they win, but I'm pretty sure that the one string of white lights that I have around my garage probably is not going to win, but I'm
Oh, that
okay
is
with
a
it.
shame. You tried. You tried your best, didn't you? Bless you.
Sort of put like a minimum effort into it. But yeah, it is different, but like I said, I live in one of those manufactured neighborhoods basically, and
Okay.
it's just interesting how like when we leave this neighborhood, there's very few people who are really putting up lights. There's a few here and there, but not nearly as much. I remember as a kid, sometimes we would go driving around looking at Christmas lights and they were everywhere, you know,
Mhm.
but not so much this year. It's
Well, the electric's a bit pricey
way up.
nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah.
Energy costs. Um,
Yes.
we're going to move on, and we're
Yeah.
wrapping up the episode now.
Yes. Yes.
And these are very important questions I'm going to pose to you. One of them is, what are your highlights of 2025?
Did you really have to ask? Like you didn't already know.
For the viewers, for the listeners. I mean, I know I'm psychic, obviously. Mm. Come on then, out with
And
it.
you're the guy in the white panel van. So yeah, I would have to say my first overseas trip to spend time with you and film Into the Void and go to the conference that we went to and meet some more
Mm.
people was really that was absolutely the highlight of my year. That said, I went to some other places, East Coast in the United States, which I know you probably find absolutely bizarre, but driving a 22-hour drive to get to a conference and doing it in 2 or 3 days, because there's no way I'm going to drive 22 straight hours. First of all, my car at the very least would need gas, right? So, but yeah, the traveling that I've done, the people that I've met, those have really been the highlights of my year. What about you?
Oh,
What are your
that's
highlights?
incredible. Well,
Yeah.
snap, I would say. For me, it worked on two, well, many levels. Our week together. Well, it was over a week, wasn't it? Uh,
hmm
one, I don't normally take weeks off. I'm working 6 days a week. And
Oh, dude,
so,
you were working. You were working.
yeah, I was working. It was the way we was
Yeah.
working. But do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It normally
Yes.
in certain locations and situations. So that was a break in itself mentally. mentally.
Mhm.
Okay. Obviously, meeting you in person was
Yeah,
amazing. You know, your
we had
vibration
fun.
is incredible. We matched on so many things and finished off each other's sentences, which was very spooky indeed.
Yeah, it's that
Um,
shared brain cell, I'm telling you. It's-
yes, yeah, it was doing overtime that week, definitely.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was good. And I loved the fact that every single day we was turning up and having a shared experience of a different location, both physically, spiritually, emotionally
Yes.
as well. And we were both having our own version of that, which was captured, as you say, on the recording of Into the Void that we have
Hmm.
produced together, the TV show. So that was an amazing experience. And like you say, we was away, but it wasn't a holiday because we were up at 4 in the morning some days, working
Yes.
12 to 14-hour days in order to get the
Hmm.
shots and the content for each episode and to tie it up so that we could take the circus, shall we say, to the next
To
town.
the next location.
Yeah. And do the
Two a
same again.
day. We did two cities a day or two
Yeah.
locations a day
And we
every
had
day
to
that
have
week. Yeah.
a, a vast amount of content, didn't we, to play with
Mhm.
to create the episode. So that was amazing. That was a highlight. And initially, it started off as when you were saying, "Oh, I'm coming over next year. Do you want to hook up? Do you want to meet up? I'm
Yeah.
doing a conference." And you mentioned a Crypticon. And I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, for definitely. I will be your chauffeur. And
Yes, it was wonderful. Thank you.
so it developed from being your chauffeur to my guide stepping in and saying, hang on a minute. You're
We have
both
an
together.
opportunity here.
Yeah. Why don't you create a TV show together? You have the equipment, you have the knowledge, you have the background. And then the next minute, I posed the idea to you, and you was without hesitation, yes, let's do it. Yes, let's do it. And so it stemmed
Yeah,
from
I'm
there.
pretty sure you hadn't even finished the sentence yet, and I was saying yes.
Yeah. So it stemmed from there. And
Yes.
from that to come in as an initial thought from spirit to have a final product finished, produced, that was incredible. So that was one of the
Yes.
highlights of my year. Definitely. Other highlights, I've done some other filming with another company, and that came out of the blue, unexpected. That was very exciting. Um, Being on other podcasts such as yourself and Breakfast with Bobby and there's others that I could name.
Yes.
That was exciting because to be invited on them for one is incredible. Other highlights of this year, I would say seeing my daughters grow up and just blossoming as individuals and really kind of going above beyond anything that I imagined, and to see them turn into these beautiful ladies, incredible. That makes me quite emotional just thinking about that. Um, but yeah, I would like to share with you, however, one of the lessons, the key lessons that I've learned this year of 2025.
Okay.
And it was the biggest one I've learned in many, many years. And being a Capricorn, very stubborn, have my own agenda, very organized to the second. Well, I was up until
Yes.
this eureka moment. And this eureka moment is where I became not ill as such, but I had to have hospital treatment. I'd have an operation where I
Mhm.
had to take my plans out the equation. Whether I liked it or not, had to just forget about it. And so the word of the year, the lesson of the year for me was surrender
Same.
and surrender. So what about yourself?
Yeah, well, I've not been too quiet about, had a pretty big health issue come up and just kind of smack me upside the head this year. Towards it was September, late September, so it was towards the end of the year, and
Mm-hmm.
it has completely altered my life. I have been fighting it every step of the way because I'm really angry about it, or have been really angry about it to the point where I went to therapy to deal with the anger
Wow.
about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, so that has been for me, a complete pivot. And I've been doing this professionally for 25, going on 26 years now. And I've had to pivot several times, but this was a tough one because I finally had gotten my life the way I wanted it, the way that I had worked for it for years with the travel, with the public speaking, with getting out into the community, both paranormal and spiritual, and then to get slapped down again. That has been a tough one for me. Um, I wish it was 6 weeks of recovery after surgery. But it's going to be probably much more long term than that. So I'm still working. I'm having to go back on to doing more online, which is a little bit more of a struggle than it was last time I did it, because last time I did it, the whole world shut down. So I kind of
Yeah.
had a captive audience. That's not the case right now. So, I'm having to be more selective about where I'm traveling to, needing to take someone with me when I'm traveling in case something happens.
Hmm.
So that has been a big shift for me. I can't say that I'm at peace with it yet. I'm coming to terms with acceptance, but I'm not there yet. I'll be honest, I'm not there yet. Um, I'm trying. I'm trying, but it is, yeah, sorry.
You're doing an incredible job. And honestly, I said to you before we started this episode, you're looking
Yeah.
radiant. You've got a glow about
Thank
you.
you.
You've got the
Thank
magic in
you.
your eyes, and you've got that cheekiness about you that we all love and appreciate. And you've
Thank
thrown me
you.
under the bus so many times in this episode. Like I say, I've got bruises to prove it. So, that to me suggests that you are on the road to recovery, definitely. And you're
Yeah,
not under the
yeah.
bus, you're driving the bus.
I'm driving the bus.
You
Yeah.
are indeed.
I would like to feel more like I'm driving the bus, but yes, I am getting there. I am getting there.
Excellent.
I'm just having to do it differently than I wanted to. And so
Yeah.
I am having a little bit of a temper tantrum about it. But
Okay.
you know what? Sometimes it's okay. Have the temper tantrum, but then get on with it.
Let
That's
it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Release
So
it.
that's really where I'm at. So,
Bless you.
um, you know, so we talked about 2025, the lessons, the excitement, the
Yeah.
travel, all of that, and the memories that we've both made doing it. What are you looking forward to in 2026?
Oof, as they say, new year, new you. But you don't have to
Yeah,
wait for a new year to be a new you, do you? But
right.
I made a
No.
conscious decision a few days ago, and I said to you off air, had a board meeting with the
The
team.
guides. Yeah.
Yeah, and I put a few
Yeah.
bullet points in my contract that I'd like signing off,
Yeah.
so to speak. And so I'd like for those things. I'm not going to go into too much detail because it is about manifesting and creating.
Yeah.
But ideally, what I'm wanting for next year is freedom, adventure, abundance. For the word of spirit of creation to funnel through me as a vessel and to go as far and wide as possible to help inspire, guide, and just to get people up leveling on their vibration, living their best lives. That's what I'd like to be part of the process for next year, just to um, listen with intensity to my soul's calling and follow with trust, with faith, and just to see that come into fruition where people are up leveling and they're creating the lives that they've truly desired from maybe being that high, and seeing them bringing that into fruition. To me, that would bring me a lot of contentment, a lot of joy, and a lot of gratitude to my team. That's what I would like for next year.
Awesome.
What about you,
Awesome.
good self?
I'm just going to say ditto.
Oh, that's a cop out. Come on, we want to hear
Well,
in depth.
I don't know how much of a cop out it is because I really don't know where this year is going to lead me, but
Hmm.
every year I choose a word. for the year.
Okay.
And this coming year, starting even before then, before now, even freedom,
Oh, I like it.
freedom. That's my word. Yeah, for me and for everyone else, freedom. That's my word.
Hmm.
I'm still kind of dripping here. Sorry.
Well, you're doing a good job at it. Well done.
Um, yeah, freedom. Freedom is my word. Because I'm having to do more online things.
Yeah.
I'm also, I think learning is another word for me, learning and freedom, because I'm having to learn more technical things as far as getting more content out, reaching more people. Um, so yeah, that's what it is for me.
Thank you. Well, speaking of reaching more people, how can people see what I did there?
I did. I saw that. Ah,
Smooth operator.
yes. Careful, you might be hitting some of those what
I
do you
was,
call it?
yeah, I was just
Yeah.
talking. Yeah, but anyway, how
Uh,
can people book in with a session with you or purchase your goods, your services, your merch? How can people go
my
about doing
merch.
that?
Wow. Okay, so we got a couple things going on here. Um, First of all, my website, uh, www.kristinabloom.com. And you can book in with me. You can buy my books there. You can see which classes are available. My calendar is there. And I think I finally did my calendar correctly so that everything is supposed to show up, shows up. I'm, fingers crossed, hoping, hoping I did that right. Um, Also, you can buy my merchandise at https:// because if you put in www, it tells you it's not correct. So you have to put in the https thing. I don't know why. But it is pure-intuitive-magic.printify.me. So that is where you can find my merch website. Eventually, I will get that coordinated with my other website and figure that out. Um, haven't quite figured that one out yet. But those are where you can get those too. You can contact me directly through my website or through any of my Facebook pages. Kristina Bloom dash Your Spiritual Advisor is my group. Please feel free to join it. You can find me on YouTube. I've got Paramystic Kristina on YouTube. That is my YouTube channel. I'm also going through my production company is All Access Network Television. You can find my stuff on there as well, both YouTube and social media pages. I am on TikTok. I'm starting to, I don't know, somehow I have like 15 or 1600 followers and I've got like a half a dozen videos. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works. Um, but you can find me there. You can find me on Instagram. I think Instagram is Kristina Bloom SA as in spiritual advisor. Uh, I did I miss anything?
Wow. Incredible.
Because
I
last
have,
time you were calling me out like every
yeah.
sentence. So did I miss anything?
No, you did really well. And to remember that
Awesome.
level of detail with the HTTP dash
It's,
colon forward slash forward
yeah,
backward slash
I
amazed
know,
me.
right?
Well done. Somebody's been doing the homework. So
Yeah,
thank
well, I
you.
tried to search my own website and www dot told me it wasn't, I couldn't access it from there. So I had to
Computer
go with the
says
other.
no. One of
Computer
those
says
things.
no. Yes, computer says no. What about you? How do people contact you?
Oh, bless you. Well, if you're wanting a one-to-one private reading, online video, or if you're in the UK, over a phone call, you can click in my social media biogs. It's all there. You can go over to my website, www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com. You can find me on all of the social media platforms. And yeah, so if you're wanting to reach out or get in touch or maybe be a guest on the show, please get in touch. I'd love for that to happen. So yeah, I also have lots of products on there. 3 books, one of them being an audio book, the other 2 being hard copy, and an ebook version as well. There's also spiritual development courses and individual classes there in video format for you to take part in. There's audio albums, sound healing albums. There's also affirmational audios, and we have guided meditations on the website. Lots of free content on there as well. So just have a good old nosy around the website, and I'm sure you'll find something that tickles your fancy, so to speak. So that's how you
Excellent.
So, Kristina,
Excellent.
as ever, it's been an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to share. I believe this is going to be the last episode before Christmas Day. So thank you so much for bringing forward your wisdom and your beautiful energy. I'd like to wish you and your family an amazing, magical festive season ahead for 2025. And I look forward to our shared adventures, albeit at this stage, over the internet there, online,
yes.
Into 2026. I'm really looking forward to all the discussions that we're going to have. So thank you, Kristina.
Thank you, and best of the holidays to you and yours as well. And hug those girls for me.
I will indeed. How many are we talking? 5 either side? I could just about manage that.
Could you manage that?
With a little energy drink, maybe. I'm joking.
Okay. Well, the two that you fathered, how's that? And your mom.
Yeah. Okay.
Hug them
I can
all
do
for
that.
me.
Yes, of course. And it goes without saying, but we're going to say it anyway. I'd like to wish all of the viewers, the listeners, the supporters of this show, From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, and an amazing Christmas. Have a beautiful time, treasured memories, definitely. And I'm sure, Kristina, over to you. Did you want to say anything?
Yes, happy holidays to everyone. Whatever holiday you celebrate or don't, I just wish you peace and love always. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you very, very soon. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium